what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Indiana State Sycamores Dynasty here on College Hoops 2K8. We're actually getting ready to close out on what has been an overall a solid regular season. We're coming in here 12-6 as our overall record, and we're also deep in the hunt for one of those top seeds in the conference tournament that helps get an automatic bid to the NIT as well. So got quite a bit going on here in this episode. We are going to finish out this regular season here today. As all the games that you see on here, we're either gonna play them or we're going to simulate them, and therefore, because we'll get to the end of the regular season as well, we'll get a good idea of where we stand come conference tournament time. So that being said, hope you guys are excited for it. If you are excited for this episode, make sure you go ahead and do a couple of things for me. Go ahead and smack that like button, and then also hit that subscribe button as well if you do have to be brand new. But with that said, let's dive right into it. Alright, man, so we are taking on the team in the Missouri Valley Conference that has the best RPI rating in the NCAA, at least within our conference. So really excited to see how this goes down. This should be a good challenge for our team here as we take a look at some of the key players. DeAndre Lee is a dude. This is a man that has a legitimate shot at going to the NBA, an 88 overall guy, a little bit undersized, but man, he certainly knows a thing or two. So Scott Smalls is going to have a difficult challenge on his hands. Should be the best matchup in this game. Really excited to see how it goes down as we check out our starting lineups real quick. You know, they got a senior backcourt with DeAndre Lee and their shooting guard. We got a few seniors ourselves, so should be a fun matchup as we dive right into it like a Trey Songz, as Baraseka is going to try to do a reverse layup. Surprised he didn't take the front side. I mean, it was wide but naked open, and it cost us a point, to be honest with you. We do lose a point off of that because of the fact that Baraseka did not take that initial layup, and he misses one of the free throws too. Plus he misses that baseline jumper as Bradley might be taking the lead with that Just Incredible foul. And then sure enough, we do have Just Incredible allowing 2 free throws there, as Bradley is trying to move the ball around a little bit here, trying to see if DeAndre Lee can cooks it inside, and it's a nice basket. Parada with that assist, but DeAndre Lee with a hockey assist. But our guys will start to find a rhythm ourselves as Allison Varant is going to pull up for, you know, a little bunny shot in the paint, and turns out that's going to be good. So we're only down by 2 at this point, but you know, we got to stay on our toes this whole time now, as we're going to kick it out to Ramos, who pulls up for a mid-ranger danger, and he's going to sink that one through. That's what I really like about Damon Ramos's game. He has a very smooth jump shot for someone that plays at that 5 position. We absolutely love that, as we almost get a steal there. We would have loved that as well. Still misses the jumper anyways, and we got a chance to tie this game up. Smalls kicks it inside to Phillips, and Phillips lays it in. So we got ourselves a tie ball game here at 8. Ramos trying to take the lead for the Sycamores. There's a scramble for the rebound. It's picked up by the Sycamores as we get a fresh shot clock to work through, as we'll kick it around the perimeter, trying to find someone to get open. Baraseka gets it to Ramos. Ramos over to Scott Smalls, who pulls up a free. Bang! Scott Smalls with his first points of the game, and Indiana State, coincidentally, we also had that first lead of the game as well, as then it's picked off again for Varant, trying to kick it inside, misses the initial layup, but picks up his own rebound, so no harm, no foul. And the Sycamores with that lead and trying to grow it as well, as Baraseka with the steal tries to lay it up, and is going to draw a foul on DeAndre Lee, and that's his first foul of the game. So that does lead the trip to the free throw line, as that free throw line trip is going to lead to a couple more points. Baraseka hoping for a free, no good, but the freshman Chris Gentry is there. He misses, kicks it out to Harris, No good. Another rebound. Finally got it in. Just incredible. Had a hard time finding the hole. No, did he? But he still is going to get to the free throw line. Gets the and one to go as well. Where shortly after we get a steal. Kicks it to Tyberg Ian. He misses but picks up his own rebound, and that's good. So Tyberg Ian gets his first points of the game, being aggressive around the rim. So a 9-point lead, our biggest lead of the day. That's credible. He's got a little boy on him. Go to work in the paint. Yes! You love to see that connect in the paint. Just incredible, having a wonderful first half. He's already got 10 points here in the first half. Could be in for a career day if he can keep it up the whole time. It's now 27-18. Your Sycamores cuts it inside to Gentry. Gentry lays it up, and it is good. So Chris Gentry will get his first points of the evening. Varane looking for some points of his own. No good. Here comes the Brandley Braves trying to go coast to coast with DeAndre Lee. And that's what DeAndre Lee's MO is. This is a man that can absolutely get rolling in the transition game. And now we might have given him another one. Oh, that's a fancy pass. Doesn't lead to an assist or anything, but hey, it still looked really cool. So you got to get some style points for that for sure. The Brandley power forward will eventually hit both free throws. As their next possession, Ken Harris picks up the rebound. His second one, tries to lay it up with Allison Ferrant. And Allison Ferrant cannot sink it through. And so that's the second foul for that young man right there. So he's going to be leaving the game because of that. Allison Ferrant will also make both of his free throws. As Credible looks to work in the post as well. He draws a foul himself, as we are on the verge of being in the bonus, carrying a 10-point lead as well, as we got a steal with Ramos trying to go coast to coast with Scott Smalls. No, foul is going to be drawn on DeAndre Lee. And so for the last couple of minutes of this first half, DeAndre Lee is going to sit down. That's their best player. Key moment for the Brandley Braves, as Scott Smalls again goes coast to coast and will finish the first half extremely strong. 40-27 is your score at the half. Well, we haven't shot the ball beautifully from the field. We're shooting less than 40%. What we are at least doing is that, hey, we're getting to that free throw line. We're being aggressive in transition. And the player of the half, who did they give the player of the half to? None other than Justin Credible. 13 points, 6 rebounds in this first half as well. He just took advantage of a little guy constantly being on him, just really playing that matchup game, and that's what you really love to see. But I would also love to see us finish this game as well. We had a problem with that in the Evansville game in the previous episode. As now, here we go, second half getting underway, as the Brandley Braves starting complement is completely back out onto the courts, as Wooden gets open for a perimeter shot, no good, but they're calling a goaltend on Justin Credible. We'll take one more look at this, and I don't see it. I genuinely don't see it. It's a tough break for the Braves, or at least for our Indiana State squad. And now Brandley has a chance to cut this back down the single digits. Cuts it inside to DeAndre Lee, who has a foul drawn from Justin Credible. And Justin Credible is able to make both of those free throws as well. So there it is, trying to come back. But we got to still be aggressive. Even though we have this double-digit lead, we want to keep that same tempo. We don't want to get away from trying to slow the game down too early, because we play better when we play fast. That's how we like to do things. Wooden's going to get open again from the perimeter. That's good. His foot might have been on the line. We don't get a clear replay, but I think they added 3 points on there on that one. Not too sure, though. Anyways, the Braves have a chance to actually cut the single digits, but it's blocked by Justin Credible, a second block of the game. Trying to kick it to Ken Harris. No good. But Hook's there. Just incredible. And Just Incredible is going to have a foul drawn upon him as well. And he makes one of 2 free throws. He now has 14. We'll see if he can get to that 20-point threshold there. But first, we're going to check in on Piata. And Piata is going to get his first points of the game, trying to drew Ken Harris with the fake there. And now it's a single-digit game, an 8-point difference between these two squads. As Hughes pulls up for free, that's good. And here comes the Bradley Braves now, as Scott Smalls, he's in a little bit of trouble, kicks it out to Ken Harris, and we gotta call a timeout. Not liking what I see here in the second half, so we just try to emphasize that defense a little bit better. Let's see if they heed the call. So 12 minutes left to play here in this second half, as Just Incredible is called for the foul yet again, and one as well. So now it's just a 1-possession game. We were up by 13 at one point, and that has all disappeared. But Ken Harris trying to answer back, no good. Here comes the Braves with a chance to tie. Good. Timeout, Sycamores. And it's all knotted up at 53 apiece. But this should give us the lead. No. So Bradley can actually take the lead. Wooden kicks it inside. Cuts it to Harris. Hughes will pull up for free. Bang! Bradley is going to take the lead with less than 10 minutes left here in the first half. As now we are in a critical state here. Can our boys rally back? Oh, we probably should have drove it with Lane Tybergian, but Credible's got a baby on him, trying to go to the post hook. That's good. Credible has 18 points, just constantly taking advantage of the mismatch, as we gotta go back to Just Incredible. Lays another one in. 20 points for Just Incredible. And now we have the ball again, looking for a bigger lead. Baraseka, no good, but he's fouled by DeAndre Lee. That's his 4th personal foul. One more, and he'll be done. As looks like Bradley might be done themselves, going coast to coast with Ken Harris. No good. Lays it up, and one. And one for Ken Harris. And we make the free throw as well, up by 9. So here we are, 4.5 left to play. Durant with the pull-up, no good. Here comes the Bradley Braves, cutting it to Piata, who ends up being fouled by Baraseka. So Bradley goes to the free throw line, makes both free throws. But we still have a 7-point lead with 2 minutes left to play in the ball game. Just gotta finish strong here. Wooden inside. Good. So it's down to a 5-point game, and Bradley takes a timeout. Following possession, we do fail to score. Wooden is open for a second, but kicks it back over to DeAndre Lee. Remains in the game. Kicks to Wooden, and it's good. Wooden now has 22, and he's been feeling himself from deep, especially here in this second half. So 1 minute left to play here now. Smalls tries to kick it out on the press. The press is bothered, but we might get a steal ourselves. No! Picked up by Bradley. Wooden. Oh, I thought he was going to pull there. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But this is a critical possession in the ball game. Lee kicks it to Wooden again. Back to Lee. What does Lee do? Kicks it to Wooden. Bang! Bradley has the lead. And we got to get down the court quickly. 3 seconds left. Durant for overtime. No good. It was online, but it was just short. And we give up a double-digit lead in the second half. And Bradley is going to be brought back courtesy of Isaac Wooden, who drops 27 and leads the Bradley Braves to victory in this one. So we ended up losing this game, but it was because primarily we had such a poor job scoring in that second half, as well as giving up 45 to the other team as well. One person I was concerned about was this DeAndre Lee person, the senior point guard out of Chicago, Illinois. Here's the thing, we actually held him in check. 7 points, 5 assists, had 7 turnovers in the game. We made somebody else beat us, and that was this Isaiah Wooden, a senior shooting guard, also pretty good in his own right. He went crazy in this one, 27 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal as well. He was just shooting it well from deep at the perfect moment, and it was a tough pill to swallow. Now, as for our guys, though, we actually did have a couple of very good games. I mean, Scott Smalls had 5 assists in the game. Allison Varant ended up going 14 points and 5 rebounds. Granted, he did do that off of 16 shots, so it wasn't the most efficient performance. John Phillips was solid, 11.6 rebounds, couple of steals, and Belichick also had 3 steals in this game as well. Found a way to score 5 points even though he didn't make a single shot from the field. Player of the game for us, though, was definitely this Justin Credible, though. I mean, Justin Credible had a fantastic performance. Actually, it has a solid 3-point ball. I'll have to keep that in mind for the future. 20 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks, and multiple steals as well. If we would have won, we would have definitely had him as the player of the game. And then Ramos, who also came off the bench as well, he had 6 points and a few steals as well. Didn't attempt a free in this game, though. A couple of guys that did not get into the game, but it is what it is. We'll see what we do for the rest of this conference season. Let's see if we can finish this season strong, even though we had a game right in our grasp against one of the better RPI teams at Bradley, but just couldn't finish the deal. So while we were simulating through to what we had left of this season, we get this unfortunate news. Alistair Varant, he breaks his wrist and is going to be out for more than a month. So effectively through the rest of his regular season, as well as the conference tournament, he is going to be done. And if we're doing the math, we might not have him even for that first weekend as well. So we're going to have to make a deep run if we are going to see Alistair Varant in the NCAA tournament. But it's not looking great for us since that Bradley matchup. We lose a close one to Drake. Drake ends up beating us 67-63, although Scott Smalls did his best to try to will us to victory. He had 21 points, 6 steals. He stole the ball 6 different times, and it still was not enough. Just did not get enough help and support from his teammates. I mean, that's a really tough pill to swallow. But then we do win a couple of games after that. We do beat Southern Illinois 57-56. This was a game in which JoJo Thompson was inserted into the starting lineup because Belichick also did end up getting hurt. He separated his shoulder, although his was not nearly as severe. So Thompson does get inserted into the starting lineup. We do have a couple of guys to step up. I mean, Scott Smalls again had a good game, 13-7 and 5 steals as well. You also saw Justin Credible put up a good performance too. 12 points, 6 rebounds, couple of steals too. You do like to see that kind of effort, especially from your starting big man, someone who is in fact a senior on this team. The other game that we won was the Wichita State game. That game was also on the road for us as well. We beat them 84-76. Now, this was more of a high-scoring game, a game in which we actually did go into overtime for. And it was a game where, again, had a couple of guys step up. We know Scott Smalls is the main option at this point. 16 points, 7 assists, a couple of steals, too, to go with all of that. Actually, was pretty nice from the field. John Phillips had a good breakout game as well. 16 points, 11 rebounds, so a double-double to get it going. And then off the bench is Dick Barlett, the freshman shooting guard, actually had a nice performance as well. Dick Barlett ends up going 13 points, 4 rebounds in 15 minutes of action. Big step up moment for him, considering when we played Bradley earlier in this episode, you didn't really see him in this game, now did you? So That being said, love that we were able to have a freshman step up and have a nice game. Other 2 games that we did end up losing, we lost to Bradley, and that was even more egregious. That was with us at home, mind you. We lost 84-49, and then we lose another blowout, 89-61 to the Illinois State Redbirds. So just a little bit of an update on what's going on with recruiting for us, and it seems like we'll at least get a Rosbody. Rosbody is 100%. We are well in the clear for this guy. Should be a Chicago, Illinois product. The question is what's going to happen with these 2 right here from Chicago. So Kale Henson's still kind of in the air. We're still a little bit behind Butler, but not by much. As long as it carries into the offseason, we should be okay. I don't like my chances here though. Dyron Whitehead, he's a 3-star. It looks like Butler might have very well locked him up. But the good news for us though is that we do have a couple of backup scholarships ready. Kelsey Bowman, he's a 5'10" guard out of Milwaukee. We actually do have the lead for him, but Morehead State did give him a scholarship. What I might do is just rescind his scholarship and give it to Kelsey Bowman. And then if we do end up losing the Henson battle, we also have Greg Emmert. Greg Emmert is sitting back here, hasn't received any scholarship offers either, so we could go and swing in that particular direction as well, or we could go for the small forward out of Hammond, Indiana, and Miles Erie. Miles Erie has not received any scholarship offers either. He's looking between us and Evansville for possibly a preferred walk-on spot at the time being. Here's some of our notable junior options that we have looked at for the time being, and we have quite a few options. We actually have a couple players that are in that high 70s range. Murray Gearson, Franz Porter as well, who's a 4-star actually. A lot of mid-majors in the running for him. Also looking at this Richards kid from Chicago as well. It's definitely some work that still needs to be done, but on the other hand, I've really liked what I see from recruiting. You know, we just got to improve these numbers when we get into the offseason. So with that being said, with those injuries in mind, we did end up finishing by losing 2 of our last 3 games. We did lose a close one to Wichita State, 76-69. We did also lose pretty pathetically, to be honest with you. We lost to Northern Iowa, 75-61. Our Northern Iowa matchup, it was a game where Scott Small's shooting did not really show up. 3 for 12 from the field, only 7 points. Did have a couple of bright spots in this game, including Baraseka, who did eventually return into the starting lineup. 14 points, 7 rebounds. But the big hole here is what we got going on with JoJo Thompson. JoJo Thompson is stepping in for Alistair Varant, and he just really hasn't taken advantage. 1 point, 2 assists, an assist in there. Phillips looked good, 11 points and a couple of rebounds. Did also get some good contributions from Javion Henry, who did have 12 points and 6 rebounds in the game, but not what we were necessarily looking for as a whole. Just need everybody to step up here as we get closer to conference tournament time. But we do finish the regular season on a higher note as we do beat Missouri State 63-61. It was a game that we needed to win, and we got the win, thankfully. Scott Smalls did shoot a little bit better, 12 points, 6 assists, and 6 steals to go with it. So I'm glad we were able to get a contribution from that standpoint. Phillips also had double-digit rebounds, and Baraseka almost had a double-double himself. He went 9 points and 8 rebounds in the game. You'll love to see that kind of effort. And then again, Javion Henry played pretty well here in the sim, 10 points and 5 rebounds, and 20 minutes off the bench. He also had 2 blocks in the game as well. So with our performance in the conference season, we have some games that we gotta play. If we want to make the NCAA tournament, we got to win 4 games. And it starts in this next episode. We will open things up against Evansville. Now, Evansville, we did lose a close one, but Evansville, they have struggled even more than we have. They are 5-13 in conference play. They're only 8-19 overall, and we did split the matchup. So if we handle our business, we can come out there and we could possibly get a win or two and maybe make a run, especially as, you know, we're capable of getting ourselves through this conference tournament slate. So I'll leave this for next episode. I hope you went ahead and enjoyed things here. If you did, make sure to go ahead and smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you have to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off, but hoping you guys are out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.